Going on YouTube? RDAP Dan here, Federal Prison Time Consulting. Hope you guys are all having an awesome Thursday. We're just going to hang out here for a few minutes, let everybody have a few moments to join in, chime in. Hope you guys can come hang out. Today's video, nothing crazy. We're just going to be doing a little positive praise, reminding many of you that are getting ready to go off to federal prison, or you're waiting sentencing, or maybe you just got under indictment or you're under investigation. Many of you are going to think that life is over, this is going to define you for the rest of your life, and you're never going to be able to do anything again. So in this video, we're going to be sharing a few success stories with you. These are no interviews. We're not interviewing anybody. These are just people that I've been following for quite a while that give me inspiration from time to time, and I would like to share their stories with you. From my perspective, I'm sure many of you have already seen them, especially Jessica. She's got a massive YouTube channel. So you probably already are well aware of her, but this specifically is targeting today those of you that are getting ready to go to prison that can't imagine what your life is going to be like after prison. And most of the individuals that we're talking about today have really experienced some down and out, some rough times, and they have found a way through the darkness, and they're making amazing strides. So that's who we're going to be talking about today. Take a moment, if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also tap on the bell up in the top right hand corner of your screen, or wherever it is on your iPhone or Android. Turn on your notifications so that you do receive notifications when we post these videos. Make sure you like and share this video as well, all that good stuff. What's going on, Kevin? Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you guys could join us. I'm trying to put out more content here going into 2020. We really got slammed at the end of the year with work and clients and getting things updated. We had a lot of people that are getting released this year from federal prison. We've had individuals that have been released on compassionate release, which next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, a week from yesterday, we're going to be doing a live interview with one of our clients who actually got compassionate release, who was released from prison 2 years early. Tom Root is going to be joining us on that video as well, as he was the one that really kind of conducted a lot of this to make it happen. So we're going to give you guys an opportunity for a Q&A to ask some questions. So hopefully you can join us. What's going on, Bonnie? Welcome, welcome. And I apologize, guys. I still have this cough. I feel like I had the damn coronavirus. I had some kind of a horrible flu that lasted a solid 2 weeks. As soon as I started feeling better, I went to Washington State for one of my clients who was getting sentenced. Amazing outcome, by the way. And still just getting over everything. Tabitha, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? So let's talk about it. Some of you are getting ready to go to prison right now, or you're waiting for sentencing. And you've got this imagination of, I can't even fathom what's going to happen after this, or even what's going to happen in prison, or how am I going to get through this? Most of you are going to be going to somewhat of either a prison camp or a low security prison. I know from time to time, some of you watch this video that are looking at some real time. Maybe you've got some severe crimes, maybe guns are involved, maybe it's your second or third time getting in trouble, so you're going to be facing a little bit more time. But the video that we're doing today, again, is really designed and targeted towards first-time, nonviolent individuals, whether you're white-collar, blue-collar, people that are getting in trouble for the first time that have no idea what to expect when you start looking into this uncharted world of the big empty abyss. There's no light at the end of the tunnel, and you start having these self-defeating thoughts, and you start getting down and out on yourself. You start becoming more and more a victim, and you start feeling more and more sorry for yourself. And I'm not going to say that a video like this is just going to make all of that go away. But I will tell you that if you look at the hardships that some of us face and what some of us have dealt with and how some of us are able to come out above that, you have to make choices. And everything you do is based on a choice. If you choose to get up in the morning and not make your bed, I'm telling you right now that something as simple as making your bed in the morning can set the stage for how the rest of your day is going to go. Something so simple, there is a sense of accomplishment that follows that. So you make your bed, you get up and make your coffee, maybe you get up and wipe down the counters, you get your day ready. And every time you make a positive stride in that direction, whether it's making your bed, whatever it might be, something so simple, and you start doing this on a regular basis, creating habits, it really does carry over into your life. And it's going to start creating better habits, which are going to create better outcomes, which are going to create better choices. And you're going to start viewing things as, instead of negative, 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 you're going to start focusing on the positives in all of these negative situations. I promise everything you're going through right now, if you search hard enough, there is positives these little positive Easter eggs that are sitting in these negative energy balls that are sitting out there. And that's why we are choosing today to talk about these individuals. Anthony, Tier Talk, another great person you guys should check out. Tier Talk is in the room right now. He's chiming in. It's Anthony Ganji. He's got an amazing channel that's dedicated more towards, it's really dedicated to anybody, but he focuses his time on correction, correctional staff. Correctional staff within the prison system. He talks a lot about state and even some federal situations. So take a look at Anthony's channel. But our first person we're going to be talking about today, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Zachary Babcock. He does have a YouTube channel, which is everybody's YouTube channel, and some of their information is listed in the description of this video. So feel free to scroll through the video. But first, we're talking about Zachary Babcock, who is an amazing podcaster. He's got Underdog Empowerment. He spent 5 years in prison. He was in prison when his sister died. He got the news while he was in the SHU. We're talking like some real struggles here. And Anthony Zach. So this is Zach. He's got an awesome YouTube channel, and Zach's actually been on my channel. I've been on his channel. I met Zach. How did I find? Actually, a couple years ago, I was looking for prison success stories, and Zach came up. Zach's channel on YouTube popped up. I forgot what his name was then. He had changed it. I think it was he had a different name then on his YouTube channel. Now it's Underdog Empowerment. But then he just had a channel. He was still trying to figure things out. He was financially still kind of making his way, but you could see the initiative and the drive and the positivity behind this guy, that it's just a matter of trying, allowing failure to set in and allowing failure to be something that works as a catalyst to fuel onto the next venture. Many individuals throughout our entire life that we've met or you're going to meet, a lot of people are scared to take chances or scared to take leaps because we fear what we don't understand. We fear failure. And if you look at it like that, you're never going to do what it is that you want to do because you're always going to be standing on the edge. You're always going to be standing behind the security blanket or behind the fence. At some point, if you really want to break out of your mold and you want to break out of your box and you want to look at the experience you're getting ready to head to, whether it's federal prison or state prison or whatever dramatic experience you're going through right now, you have to choose to do things that are uncomfortable. And having the mind of an entrepreneur or a go-getter or trying to stay positive every single day of your life has its own trying aspects to it. I guarantee you, if you ask any one of these individuals, if you ask Zach, if you ask Jessica, if you ask Brian, as positive as they are, do they ever have negative thoughts? Are there ever days where they're a little down and out? Guarantee their answer is going to be yes. But what they'll tell you more than likely is that they don't allow themselves to dwell on it. Is the thought going to enter your mind? Sure. Are fears that maybe you've had in the past, maybe you've come from a rough upbringing, maybe you were a drug addict, and we'll talk more about Jessica in a moment when we talk about that, but maybe you had some of these issues that were going on in your life, and there's always a little bit of that concern of, what if it gets a hold of me again? What if this doesn't work? And what you do is you don't allow yourself to dwell on that. You immediately find something to replace that negative thought with something positive. And that's why these individuals like Zach, to this day, I listen to Zach's quotes. I read his I watch his I listen to his podcast. I watch his YouTube channel. I listen and read his Facebook posts because it's all positive shit. It's all stuff that's great for our minds, great for our hearts, great for our soul. And if you don't know how to be positive, you got to start finding mentors and people you look up to and find your heroes. Zach could be a hero to many individuals. He spent some time in prison. He did a 5-year straight bid, and in between he was in and out of trouble. Got out of prison, didn't know what he was going to do, couldn't figure things out at first, kind of just going with the flow, has an amazing family, amazing wife, he's got some awesome twin boys, and now he's created a 6-figure income for himself, being a convicted felon, being labeled a felon, somebody that's gone to prison, somebody that, if you look at Zach, his tattoos, he's got a big old beard, you look at somebody like that, and the way we stereotype, we assume somebody that goes to prison for those reasons, we cast them off, they're never going to have a chance. And that's great. You can let people count you out as much as you want, but when you count yourself out, that's when that shit becomes real, and that's when you never will do anything because you've listened to everybody. You've given into all of that, and that's where the struggle happens. You have to build this mindset of, I'm going to get through this. All of Zach's information is in this in the description of this video. And I really think you guys should branch out. Normally our videos are talking about how you can shorten your sentence or how you should better prepare. This is part of preparing. Believe it or not, preparing for a journey of going to prison is not just about having the best letters. It's not just about how you should conduct yourself in front of the judge. It's also about making internal changes and realizing that you don't have all of the answers and that some of our best thinking really was our worst thinking. We thought we were so clever. We thought we were going to pull the wool over somebody's eyes. Many of you that are, your white collar individuals that are watching this video right now going, well, what is Zach and Brian and Jessica and you, RDAP Dan, what do you guys have to tell me that I don't already know? You will be so fucking surprised when you realize some of the most amazing things you can learn from somebody that could be awe-changing moments in your life will come from the person that you least expected. When you think you have it all figured out, and you think just because somebody's in a certain level or they're a certain stature or their environment is something that you look at or you look down on, you start to automatically cast off anything they say where you're not going to give it any credit, you're not going to give it a second thought, and those are some of the biggest mistakes that we can make. When I was in RDAP, the Residential Drug Addiction Program in federal prison, that was where I really realized that, because in RDAP, anything you do can get you into trouble. You can make mistakes. You can look at somebody the wrong way. It can create problems for you in the program, or you can be removed from the program for getting in trouble. I mean, so easy to get kicked out of RDAP. So when somebody would give you advice in RDAP, somebody that you might not normally take advice from, or you might not give a second look at, in RDAP, you're kind of forced to listen to the feedback. And I had to sit up there, and I'm not going to lie, I was that stereotypical white guy that you're not going to tell me anything. I've got all the answers. I'm smarter than you. I'm wittier than you. But here I am sitting in fucking prison, right? So how smart and how witty was I really? I was my biggest roadblock. I was my biggest enemy in prison. And sitting there, listening to somebody talk that I normally wouldn't have listened to. Maybe they had a face of tattoos or dreads or face tattoos or gold in their mouth, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, what is this guy talking about? But you know what? When you chew up the meat and you spit out the bones and you listen to what somebody has to say, I was blown away once I allowed myself to connect with individuals that I wouldn't have normally connected with on the outside. And it's allowed me to create relationships and an understanding, and it allowed me really to dive into empathy and say, shit, I really did have it easier than a lot of other people. And I'm sitting in the same room as you right now. What makes me any better than you? We're in the same prison. We're in the same jail. We're eating the same fucking food. We're sleeping in the same beds at night. Everything that you're dealing with, I'm dealing with. We are even playing field. And that's what you have to realize. You have to realize that we're not better than anybody else, and nobody else is better than us. So you can't take criticism and you can't take feedback. Can't allow yourself to get upset. You got to listen to what people need to say. If you really want to have a best possible type of an outcome through your prison experience, not just sentencing, it's going to really learn how to humble yourself and give yourself the ability to cut yourself some slack. Don't hold yourself to this point where you can't forgive yourself. Whatever you did it. It's time to get on. It's time to move forward. It's time to move past that. Forgive yourself. Understand what you did. Focus on the consequences of your actions and say, I'm going to use these consequences as a moment to do better and not fall back. I'm learning from my mistakes. There's no point in going through all of this if you're just going to make the same mistakes when you get out. So listening to somebody like Zach Babcock on his YouTube channel or his podcast, which I highly suggest, definitely go check out his podcast. The guy has a very high-ranking podcast. He's interviewed so many different celebrities. This guy has just moved mountains in a very short period of time. We're talking like late 2018, he really kind of kicked this thing off. And here we are in early 2020, and the guys went from 0 to 60, making a six-figure income off of an entrepreneurship idea that he really ran with. So much inspiration, much love for Zach Babcock. Next, so I know everybody, look, if you guys don't know who Jessica Kent is, I believe you must live under a rock or you don't watch YouTube, because Jessica Kent, she came out of nowhere really in like the last year and a half. This girl's got something like 220,000 plus subscribers on her YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel has just blown up. And it was really awesome because, a lot of us, me and Brian, both got to see her at her early stages when she was kind of figuring it out. She didn't know what kind of camera to use. She didn't know anything about any of the YouTube programs. I mean, she literally sat there with her camera making videos, and she was battling with a lot of the negative reviews. You know, that's one thing as your channel grows, and I've got a baby channel compared to a lot of these other individuals. I've got 7,000 subscribers going since 2015. So when I see somebody like Jessica Kent who grew so fast, and she gets a lot of negative comments, you know, people talk shit, people like to hate, whatever it might be. At the end of the day, this girl has been through struggles. You can read a little bit of her story. Some of it's in the description of this video. She gave birth in prison. She's been a drug addict, addicted to hardcore drugs, drug dealer for 10 years of her life, running from the law, figuring things out, you know, not coming from some giant, fortunate luxury family where it's like, here, we'll pay your way. It's like, figure things out. She talks about while she was in prison, getting ready to give birth, listening to all the other inmates where they're not going to let you have your child, they're going to take your baby away from you. She really accepted that fact. Can you imagine, for you ladies out there, or even you guys out there, imagine being in prison and being told, as soon as your baby is born, we're going to take your baby from you, and you're never going to have a chance to get to know your baby because you're not worthy, you're not worth it, you're a drug addict, you're an inmate, this is who you're going to be for the rest of your life. When you accept that reality, oh my God, can you imagine what that's like for those of you that have kids right now? Can you imagine if Jessica did give up and she didn't fight through this? You know, and I was reading an article that she was showcased in, and one of the quotes she was talking about was, you know, the minute her child was born, when she saw her baby's face, and she didn't want to look at her baby, and I think she said one of the correctional officers or one of the hospital guards were like, you better look at this fucking baby. And when she did, that was it. Light went off. She was like, that's it. Time to change my life. I'm going to kick this drug habit. I'm going to get out of jail, and I'm going to go find my kid. I mean, that is, wherever you are, whatever it takes. Maybe you have to get in trouble 2 or 3 more times, but I'm telling you, everybody has a breaking point, and everybody can overcome whatever it is that they're going through, whether it's addiction, making bad choices, whatever it is. You have the ability to overcome it when you give yourself enough strength and you have something to believe in. And Jessica believed in wanting to be a mother to this baby. She didn't want to abandon another baby and put it through the foster system, and she became somebody amazing. Got out of prison, slowly started getting jobs, borrowing people's cars to go see her kid till she had enough. I mean, now look at her. Look at where she's at now. She's posting content on YouTube and Instagram, and she's really just, and it's all positive. She's taken, you would never know this girl was, you know, a heroin addict and in and out of jail if she didn't share this information with you. And the information that she shares, 220,000 subscribers she's got on her YouTube channel right now. The people that she's able to reach. Sure, she might reach some idiots out there that want to talk trash and talk smack about her, but she's also reaching people that are probably young women, parents possibly, or in the system themselves, or in and out of the system, and they're seeing that she could do it. And at some point you ask yourself, if they can do it, why can't I? What's different about you versus me? Sure, we can all make excuses why somebody did something. Oh, somebody must have got help, or they got lucky, or, you know, one thing happened and it blew up for them. But you know what? There's no luck in this game. When you stay steady and you put out content every single day, regardless of the blowback you get, and you don't know where it's going to go, there was no guarantee to Jessica that she was going to have a successful YouTube channel. There was no guarantee of anything. She did this because she knew it was the right thing to do. And people like that, and that's why I'm going to try to do a video like this once a week where we really kind of do positive praises for individuals that have turned their lemons into lemonade. And somebody like Jess, who clearly talked about she didn't want to do a YouTube channel. She was afraid of the feedback. She didn't want to put her story out there. Somehow she found the strength to just say, fuck it, I'm going to try it. And she did it, even with all sometimes the hate she gets. So when you see people do things like this, it's not easy. It is not easy putting yourself out there. You become somewhat of a role model to other individuals. I don't want to use the word celebrity because that sounds fucking ridiculous, but you become a role model. People are watching you more. They're waiting for you to make a mistake. There's a lot of people out there right now that would love for Jessica to fuck up and go back to jail. There's a lot of people out there right now that would love for Zach to fuck up and go back to jail. There's a lot of people out there right now that would love to see me fuck up and go back to jail, because we're all capable of making mistakes. And what we have to do is we have to own the mistakes that we make. And if you make a mistake in your current life, talk about that too. That way you're showing people, I haven't found this life to be perfect. It's not that I don't trip, but I'm not going to allow it to get me down. I'm not going to allow it to stop my momentum. And that's why I got frustrated going out of 2019, was I really slowed down on making the videos. And that's why we had to revamp some of the ways that the company's working. We're revamping some new programs, some do-it-yourself programs for people that can't afford the services, because we have to find a way to make time for this. This is where my passion started, was making videos and sharing my story of my journey. My journey is not as exciting as a lot of other people's journeys, which the individual we're going to talk about next, Brian. And you guys, actually, Brian's been on our channel before too. But people like Brian, they've got some amazing stories and some amazing journeys on how they got to where they are. But I'm not here to compare myself to somebody else, because I know my shit's not that entertaining. I went to, a low custody level prison. Didn't go to a camp. I went to a low, but needless to say, I didn't have a lot of the experiences that other individuals had. So seeing people like Jessica really turn their life around, and Jessica's her contact information, her YouTube channel, again, is in the link of this description of this video. Go check out her channel. If you haven't found her channel yet, I promise you, you'll get hooked on it right away. Her content is extremely entertaining. She does a good variety of content. She'll do from positive message to how to make a prison pizza. So she really does keep the content interesting, and she's good at what she does. In my mind, this is what she was built for, and I think she's coming into her own. So it's awesome to see people like Jessica really thrive and grow and jump through the YouTube ranks the way she's gone through it so fast. Yes, I'm jealous. I wish I had 220,000 subscribers, but way to go, Jessica. Fucking awesome. So last but not least, you guys have probably all seen Brian. He's got an awesome YouTube channel. It was called Bounce Back. I think he changed the name of it. It's no longer Bounce Back, but he's also very, very active on social media. He's active on Facebook. He's active on Instagram. I apologize. I got to drink some of my green juice here. Fucking dying. But Brian gets the nice black and white picture. Look at that handsome young man right there. But no, Brian's got some crazy fucking stories. But more than just his crazy stories, the guy is a positive ball of energy. He's upbeat. He's active. He's very animated when he tells his stories. He's a great storyteller. You guys have probably seen him on Big Hertz channel. I think he's done stuff with Jessica Kent as well. He came on my channel, told his story a while back ago. But Brian, he spent a chunk of time in state prison. He even escaped from state prison, got caught, went back, I think it was like, he spent a lot of time in solitary confinement. I want to say it was like a couple of years. I want to say he spent like 30-something months in solitary confinement. And when you hear about that, you hear about all these individuals that have spent time in solitary confinement. They get out of prison and they're broken. They're never going to be the same. They're institutionalized. They can't go out in public. Ah, man, I feel for those people, but at the same time, I feel like saying, hey, you got to force yourself to get back out there. You can't just say, I'm institutionalized and don't do anything about it. Granted, I've never been institutionalized. I was sentenced to 42 months. I only did 13 months, and I did it in a very open compound where half-mile track and flat-screen TVs and really no violence to worry about. So I can't speak from experience, but I've met so many other individuals that have lived that really, really extreme, rough prison lifestyle that get out of prison and they find a way to manage, and then they find a way to thrive to where you would never know that they were in prison for such a long time. And Brian is a great example of that, because some of the stuff that he's gone through truly could have used as an excuse to say he was institutionalized. Instead, Brian shares his stories. He shares his prison experiences. He's also created a CBD beverage. Let me look it up here because I forgot what it was called. I actually have it down right in here somewhere. So he's got a CBD infused beverage called HC, like Harry Charles, HC Brews. And if you go on his Facebook page, you can see a lot of he's got pictures of it on there. This guy is an entrepreneur to the T. He gets involved in different things because he believes that entrepreneurship is the way. Does it mean everything that somebody's going to try entrepreneur-wise is going to take off? No. And that's why a lot of people go, oh God, here they go, new this or new idea or new business. And those are the fucking naysayers that you just want to like boot out of the room, because you don't need to hear that shit, because at the end of the day, you might need to try a couple of different things until you find whatever fits you best. Once you find that suit that fits you and it's like, man, this is what I've been looking for, you'll know it when you find it. Just like Zachary Babcock, The guy's done a million different businesses, and almost any wealthy entrepreneur that you talk to, almost anybody, not just recently, we were going back to the famous of the famous to people that are died already. The one thing you'll hear from a lot of these individuals is they failed so many times before they succeeded. It's because they were allowing themselves to identify failure as a learning curve. It's like going to school, the school of hard knocks. If you're willing to fail and get back up and try again, eventually you're going to find what works for you. You're going to find that magical feeling, and that's the path that Brian's on right now. Again, this guy's got an amazing family. He puts out amazing content. He's got some really funny videos. He's got some serious videos. The guy's got some awesome workout videos on Facebook. He takes it back a little bit. He's doing a little bit of the prison routine, and he's getting himself back in shape. And it's inspiring, again, to see individuals that are using something that could easily be the most negative, consequential thing they've ever dealt with. And they could use that as like why I can't do anything in life and why nobody's going to hire me. Nobody's going to give me a second chance. I'm going to end up back in prison. All of these negative bullshit thoughts that we say, Brian is choosing to use all of that negative past. He's choosing to use it as a catalyst and a platform to reach other individuals, to let them know that, yo, I did it, you can do it. And I'm telling you, people of all walks of life could learn value from these three individuals. And every week we'll try to put out somebody here that has made something out of, I'm not going to say nothing, but has made something out of a complete fucking disaster, and they were able to reshape it and remold it to where it's redefined who they are. We're still defined. Like people say, you don't have to be defined by your mistakes, right? Well, I am completely defined by my mistakes. I am defined by my poor choices and my prison experience. Now, I didn't define it as this is why my life is horrible. I defined it as that is something that I learned from. That was, for me, a lesson I needed to learn. It was an example I needed to go through. Not everybody needs to go to prison to learn how to do things the right way. You can be an amazing, successful entrepreneur. You can do amazing YouTube channels without going to prison and without making, all these fucking horrible choices in the past. But for some of us, those horrible choices were needed for us to see what we were missing out on. And if you choose to find the positives in the negatives and don't worry about the people that are going to hate on you or that are going to talk trash about you or that are not going to see your vision and they're going to tell you don't waste your time, you have to be willing to not give in to somebody else's will for you, because a lot of people don't want to see us succeed. They don't want to see anybody succeed because it makes them feel easier about why they are where they are. Because if they say to you, yeah, go for it, you can do it, why aren't they doing it? They don't want to admit that it's even possible. So by telling you you can't, it's justifying why they don't even try. So you got to look at the inner circle of why people do what they do. Where is it really coming from? What's the thought patterns behind it? Surround yourself with positive books. Surround yourself with positive people. Find people you find influence in. Find yourself a mentor. Find yourself somebody that you can, when you're feeling down and out. Look, all this great positive thinking, it's great when things are going well. Paying your bills on time, everything's going great. But what do you do when times get tough? What do you do when you have a bad month? What do you do when your girlfriend breaks up with you? What do you do when you're getting ready to go to federal prison? This is when you have to apply this way of thinking, because that's when it counts. It's easy to do it when things are easy. Is it going to be so easy to have that same mentality when shit gets a little tough? When you can fight through it and you can apply what you've learned, you can whip out your tool belt and go, okay, I got fired from my job today, or my car got stolen, my girlfriend broke up with me. I might be upset for a minute, but I'm not going to allow myself to dwell on it. I'm going to go out and do something positive. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to listen to a podcast like Zachary Babcock. You're going to find ways to get through whatever negative shit you're going through, and you have to, or else life is going to be a downpour of negativity if that's what you choose. I met a lot of people in prison that were just negative. When I got there with my 42-month sentence and I started finding out about RDAP and halfway house, and I started, I can get a year off for RDAP and I can get a year halfway house, 99% of the inmates that I spoke to said, it's never going to happen. They're never going to do that for you. You don't have enough time. Don't even try. You're wasting your time. It was just like negative. Very easily, I could have gave in to that, but I chose to fight it. I chose to say, well, if I try and I fail, at least I tried, and I know that I put the effort in. If I don't try and I don't get it, I'm always going to have that what if. We don't want to live with what ifs. What could I have done different? Live today like it's your last fucking day, and don't listen to anybody out there. Do what you need to do. Take advice, chew up the meat, spit out the bones. Hope you guys appreciate all of this, and go check out Brian's channel, go check out Jessica's channel, go check out Zach's channel. These guys are huge. They're inspirational. They're doing things. They're on fire. I appreciate watching them. They give me energy, motivation. Sometimes I'll see a video or a podcast that they did, and it will give me the energy to want to go out and do a video that day. So many times I've watched Brian go out and do a workout video. I'm like, fuck, I need to go to the gym. I need to get out there and do some push-ups. Especially after having this hellish flu that I had. I haven't wanted to do anything. But I see Brian out there doing his pull-ups and his push-ups, and I'm like, damn, falling. I'm lacking. I'm getting behind the 8 ball. I'll see Zach go post a podcast every damn day. I'll see Jessica on YouTube every day posting content. And then I'll let weeks and weeks go by, and I get down on myself. I'm like, how come I'm not being more active with my social media platform? This is what's grown my business. You know, my 6-figure business doesn't come from my YouTube channel, so to speak, or any other social media, but my social media platform has been my platform to reach people that need my services that hire me. So I have to remember that just because I don't have 220,000 subscribers like Jessica Kent does, we have a different channel, a different content, a different following base. But I think that the people that come to my channel that are specifically looking for information on what they can do to mitigate their sentence, if you realize that it's more than just finding basic answers and finding like what I need to do, it's also about changing your attitude. And that's where going and watching Jessica, Brian, and Zach, that's where you can really kind of, you're going to well-round yourself. You can use me to get the information and what you can do to mitigate your sentences, but you can use these other individuals as how to stay positive and not allow your negative circumstance to define who you're going to be in the future. Realize that you're going through the trenches right now, and you're going to come out okay if you choose to. All right, guys, I'm RDAP Dan, Federal Prison Time Consulting. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to everybody's channel on this video. I love you guys. I'll check in a couple of days. My daughter is going to be here Sunday just for an afternoon from New York. She's visiting her grandmother, so maybe she'll hop on YouTube with me, but I'm looking super excited to that. See you guys soon. Y'all have an amazing day. I'm out of here. Peace.